Hi, this is Jacqueline here with the Grow Program. Thank you for growing with me on today. In the lighthouse, it's beautiful in the lighthouse. It's a lot of light comes in there. The lighthouse stays lit all day long. Even at night, the lighthouse is lit up. You don't even need to turn the light on. The reason I do is because the cat insists on laying all out in the middle of the floor wherever he decides to plop down, and I don't want to trip over him, so I have to cut the light on so I can see him, because he will not move out of your way. He'll let you step over him. And one day I'm moving stuff, trying to move stuff back and forth. I'm having to go back for a step across him, and he just looking at me as I'm stepping across. So I just, I finally, I grabbed my shoe like they did in the Tom and Jerry, like she did in the Tom and Jerry cartoon. She grabbed that shoe after that cat, and he went to running. And that's what I do with Kyler, honey. He go running, and get out of my way. That day he really was in the way. And he a sweetie though. He is. I've never seen a cat like him. He acts human, and it's crazy. But he's my daughter's cat, even though he acts like he is mine. Anyway, the spiritual warfare around the lighthouse, honey. I'm going through. I'm growing through. That's what it is. I'm growing through. I'm growing through with God for the breakthrough. I got to keep growing on no matter what's going on around me. And it's a lot going on around me. We deal with a spiritual warfare that's everywhere, honey. Sometimes you can't even have peace at home. You can't even be left alone. You go home, that's the one place you think you can have peace at. You can't have no peace there. It's spiritual warfare everywhere. All out there. You run inside the house, lock the burglars out. There it is, still in there, honey. It's all around. It is. Sometimes we just can't even be safe at home. We got to run to the wilderness, to the hills. That's where I am now. I'm not even at the lighthouse. I'm out here looking at the hills, looking to the Lord, whence cometh my help. God help me. I need you now. I need you, Lord, as I'm growing through over here in this spiritual warfare that's out here. Lord, help me get through. And God gonna pull us through, honey. God is there. Just keep seeking the kingdom of God, and all things shall be added unto you. Honey, I'm over here in this lighthouse. And, for months since we moved in there, back in March, this man next door, he right next door, directly next door, to the lighthouse. And he has tried his every opportunity to peep in through the windows. When every chance he got, he peeping through the windows. My daughter has caught him peeping through the window. I caught him peeping through the window. And I told him to not peep through my windows anymore. And, we share this step, and so if my door happened to be open, then he come outside so he sit right in front of my door. So then I have to just shut the door. We are like in there like prisoners in the lighthouse in a way. When I told you about the spiritual warfare that's out there, honey, I'm dealing with something there. And so yesterday, as I'm going outside, getting ready to take my grandbaby to go to his father's house, and as I'm stepping outside, this man is standing under my window peeing. Standing under my window with his thing out peeing. I ain't looked down there, but I know that's what he doing. He's standing there holding, peeing at my window. So I just could not believe. See, and the owner, she told me, she said she don't know who he is, but he live next door, and that's her property. But you don't know who he is. And she told me just ignore him. I've been ignoring all this time, honey, and it's bro no more. I called the po-po. That was it, honey. I called the police because look here, I got a child here. I didn't want to come outside and see that. And he stood there. It wasn't like he hair him zipped up, ran out, said he was sorry, none of that. He stood there. As I opened up my car door, he's still standing there, like he, doing his thing. Oh no. See, people will push you and push you and push you. See, I don't bother with nobody. I be over there in that lighthouse. I don't bother no one. You see what I'm on? I'm on God. I'm growing in God. But the spiritual warfare, you don't have to be bothering anyone there. The spiritual warfare is out there to take you there. See, I can go ugly. We can go ugly all day long, but what is that going to solve? Honey, we got to grow forth in love, just like the woman came out. Because, see, I didn't tell the police that she was out there with him, running and giggling and laughing like something funny. It wasn't funny to me. I come out here with my child. Your man standing here with his thing out. What's funny about that? I got children over here. So then when I told the police, but I didn't let them know she was out there too. See that? I threw a surprise on them, threw a whammy on them. See, because I didn't call the police right then, and then I came back home. And it made me sad. I broke down. I'm like, how could he do that? How do you do that? Children are over here. You going to stand outside my house and do that? So I didn't have, I just started dialing. It wasn't nothing else to do. I had to make a police report, honey. And I'm telling you something, God gonna carry me through. I'm going to keep on growing through. I plan on leaving her in a couple of months anyway, and in the meantime, I'm going to have peace and quiet and joy, like I've been having, because I don't bother anyone. I leave. That's why I leave folks alone. Sam, I leave the neighbors alone. Sam, I'm telling you, honey, we ain't going there. I leave people alone. Wave. There you go. Wave. Hi, how you doing? That's it. Go on in the house. Leave folks alone, and folks will leave you alone. You step off there and there you go there. Get involved with the neighbors and they stuff. It ain't never been that way with me, honey. I like to leave people alone. I always have. Always like to stay in my lane, but see, people will drag you over in their lane, and then there you go in an entanglement, in their lane, entangled up, when you should have just stayed in your own lane. You doing good. Stay in the flow of God. Just keep on going in the flow of God. Just like I told her today, look here, I don't bother nobody. She said it wasn't none of her man out there. Yes, it was. I know him. But look here, I told her, I said, I don't bother no one, and I appreciate no one bother me. I'm just letting you know that's how I want it to be. I ain't been bothering this man. Wasn't no reason for him to stand outside and pee outside my window. I said what I had to say today, got in the car and went about my way. That was it, honey. I'm telling you something. That's how you got to do with the spiritual warfare out there, and then keep it moving. Just keep it moving, because that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to take it to step 2. I don't want to go we got to go steps, in God. We got to take it a step at a time. G-O-D, that's what you're seeking. Seek those 3, G-O-D. You ain't got to take 12 steps, anger management, all this other stuff. Take G-O-D with thee, because his eyes are already on the sparrow and he watches you. God is watching you. God is seeing you. God is knowing what's going on before you even take it to God. See, because after the police came last night, it was peace and quiet. Peace and quiet until I seen her this morning, and I had to let her know what I had to let her know. Look, I don't bother nobody, and I don't want nobody bothering me. So let's just let it be, and we can have that agreement and understanding. We good. Because I sure ain't got nothing else to say to you. I'm telling you right now. I know how to leave people alone. My own husband told me how to do that, how to leave him alone in a marriage. So if I can do that, then trust, I can leave anybody alone, honey. All you got to do is say that. Leave me alone. That's what he said. Just leave me alone. That's what Michael Jackson said, and I'm saying it too. I understand. Just leave me alone. I'm trying to get the breakthrough. I'm trying to be here and grow for God. I'm trying to throw the side. I'm trying to sow love. Don't interfere in that. Don't interfere in the flow of God we got going on. We got it growing on in God, honey. We got it growing on. We moving. We rising. We sowing. We lifting. We touching. A touch, honey. That's all it is. The domino effect. Just touch, lift, and rise. That's how you have to do. Touch, lift, and rise. And bake a little bit in the spiritual warfare too. You have to do that. Get seasoned up in the spiritual warfare. Get seasoned up. And I'm gonna tell you something. That beautiful gray, that shows your wisdom. There's a lot of wise folks out here. Very wise people. My son has had gray hair since he was a baby, and he's very wise. You can listen to him. He like an encyclopedia. You ask him something, cha-ching, there it go. There go your answer. And he'll give it to you just like that. Let you know something. And I just get blown away. You get blown away about these kids. My grandson, he 8 years old, and he can tell you some things. He told me about the eyes on the trees. He said, look, see, that's why I tell him, go meditate to the Lord. Go think on God. That's why I tell him what to do. I tell him to do that because that's what I do. We go, and I'm tell you something. I homeschool him, honey. I homeschool him to get the breakthrough. See, because they ain't got God in school. So, and I don't want to put him in there and turn him into potentially another fool. So I just keep him at home, and that's where we go to school. We go to school at home. And we have our meditation time. He gonna meditate to the Lord. He may be alone in the park, but it's okay to be alone. I'm teaching him it's all right to be alone. Ain't nothing wrong with being alone. I'm alone. I'm by myself. Most of the time, 90% of the time, I'm by myself unless those children decide to go with me, and ride with me sometime. But I ain't got time for no foolishness. I ain't got time for no gossip. I got time for the God sip. That's what I'm here to tell you, some God sip, something to help you get the breakthrough. Ain't no foolishness about this, that, and the other, and what they doing, what they wearing. Did you hear about this? Did you see that? Do you know about this? We all know about the oppression. That's the one thing we do know. We are all under oppression. We are all here with no comforter. But we do have God is the comforter. God is still within you. People like to think what religion say he coming back. He never left. God never left you. God left you go, but God never left you. I'm tell you something. You are gold in God, honey. You are gold. You are priceless. You are a jewel. You are a rose growing here in God's garden. God got you here for a reason, not just to be going through. You were born to be alive. You are precious, a precious life. I think about the legend. Another legend fell by oppression. Why? Fell by oppression. There go young Dolph. Fell by oppression. God bless his legacy, his spirit, as we carry on, as we carry forth the love that he was trying to do in the community, how he tried, regardless of what he may have rapped about, how he tried, and was trying to bring people together, in love. It's sad. It's sad, but we can't focus on it, honey. We can't just sit and focus on the oppression because that'll lead to depression. And then there we go. I'm telling you, we got to sow, we got to live, we got to rise, and we got to grow. We got to grow in God. Give God the glory for your story. It's his story and her story. Give God the glory because you are a warrior on top for God. You coming through for God. You gonna pull through. You coming through. You don't just grab hold of God, the rod and the staff that comfort you. You got to get through. You have to. You have to. I'm telling you, honey, look. My life is not my own. To God I belong. So here I'm growing for God, honey. I'm not here for me. I ain't here about the latest this, the latest that, the latest wannabe, the latest if, the latest I gotta have, him, this, how does it hang? I don't want to know none of that about that thing. Honey, look, I'm here about God. It's all about G-O-D. I'm growing for God, you see. I'm here for God. God's kingdom building purposes. He went and he seen the promised land. What he saw was us growing. He said, I may not get there with you, but I can tell you what, his spirit is with us as we grow. The spirit of Dr. King and the legends that have been failed by the oppression, the legends that are no longer with us are not off sleep and resting. What they tired from, what they sleep from, how long they gonna sleep. Ain't nobody sleep, honey. The dead know nothing true. What they were is no longer. They have went to a spiritual birth, and so they are with you. They ain't down. They ain't down. You might have took them out. They might be gone out. They might have left out. However way they got out, they out. But they done went to a spiritual birth, with the Lord. I'm telling you, that's where the soul goes back with the Lord. God knows you. God knows you, honey. It's deep. Spirituality is deep. It's not religion where you just get in a box and you just fit in and it's what you are and you stay that. You just stay that. Well, I belong to such and such church. But does such and such church belong to you? Honey, you got to have God in the heart. God got to be in the heart. Love is where you start. Love makes a family. It ain't about blood. Love makes a family. Matter of fact, when it comes to blood, we all can share the same blood. Ain't that something? You can use my blood. I can use your blood. Long as the types match up and all of us got the same type, we all down here running around with the same type. Just different skin, one love, one blood. That's red. one heart, one kidney, one lung. You use all of that, my son. You use all of that, my daughter. You use anything God gave us, and we here for each other. We not just here for self. We here for one another. We here to lift each other. We here to lift one another so that we all may rise. So that we all may rise in God. What for one? To gain the world and lose his soul. And you gain the world, where you gonna take it? What you gonna do with it? When you leave here, what's going in your pocket? What you gonna do with the word? You got it all, but it all means nothing. Cause it ain't going nowhere. It's gonna stay here when you leave up out of here. When it's time for you to go, it's staying. It's time for greatness, honey. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. We gonna rise. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. We gonna rise in God like the great big tide. We gonna link up, lock up, rise up together. I'm tell you something. Love is the greatest power. Use love. Sow love. And when you can't use love and sow love, just turn. Turn for a better way. Okay. Well, I done tried it. I can't do it. I done tried it. And so we're going to turn this away and know how to leave folks alone. Just keep going on. Keep carrying on and keep growing on. Because God is carrying you through anyway as you going through. The battle ain't yours. It belongs to the Lord. So give it over to God. Cast your cares unto the Lord, honey. That's what I do. As I go through. Yeah, I'm going through. But I'll tell you what, I'm growing through. I'm growing through and I'm coming through and I'm pulling through on top. A warrior on top for God, a queen. I ain't in fear. I walk in power. I walk in royalty. Honey, look, you better watch out. I got God. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. And I'm going to keep on growing. I'm going to keep on sowing. I'm going to keep on rising. I'm going to link up, lock up. We going to rise up, great warriors, great mountains of God. I love you. Keep rising.